Hi there, everybody. Rob McCarran here, Jeff Hawkins. It is Shake Them Ropes, episode 96 post show video here on the YouTube, voicesofwrestling.com/YouTube, at Shake Them Ropes, at CrapGame13, I believe is still the Twitter handle for Mr. Jeff Hawkins.
That'd be me.
It's you. That's you.
Mm-hmm.
We have questions, Jeff.
Rob, are you waiting for Sharknado in 40 minutes? Are you hyped? Sharknado 3, baby.
That's today?
Chris Jericho?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No.
Neither am I.
I'm not going to be watching.
Although I did see Ian Ziering in my gym yesterday, so that was kind of cool.
The weird thing is when Sharknado 2 came out, like it got a huge hype machine behind it. Like everyone knew Sharknado 2 was coming out. I didn't know Sharknado 3 was coming out.
Yeah. Well, it was that live tweeting thing that people really love to do, kind of everybody's watching the disaster together type of thing. So that's what
it was a huge event. It was a huge Twitter event. Ratings were all right. But like before going into Sharknado, like you knew it was happening. Like you knew it. Like I hadn't
and now it's happening again.
Well, I knew Sharknado 3 was coming out. I didn't know it was today. So you have just surprised me with that news. Surprised me. Shocked the world with that news.
Bigger than the G1, which you seem to be enjoying. I enjoyed your video. I watched it. It was nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Daily recaps, the G1.
Yeah, I'm not going to dive into the G1 until after someone tells me it's a top to bottom good show. I'll watch the matches that people love, but after 2 years of watching every show, it's just too much. It's too much for me.
Okay.
And a 4-hour New Japan pay-per-view. I mean, I like the stuff that's good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things to get through. And plus, I got a crap ton of classic wrestling I got to watch still. So,
well, I mean, it's 19 shows in 29 days or something like that. So, I mean, it's a lot of shows in a short period of time. Most people, especially here in the States, when they're happening at 5 to 9 a.m. Eastern, you struggle to find time to watch all these things. And then all of a sudden, you miss day 2 and day 3 has already happened. And then day 4 is coming up and you still have the other days in the queue. You're probably not going to watch in order at that point. You just want to know what's going on currently. So for those types of people, we're doing the videos at the Voices of Wrestling YouTube. 10 minutes, you'll get all caught up. You'll get to see some of the sites, but you'll know what's going on.
Just going to tell you, be careful of the copyright stuff.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's actually I'm having the same problem because I'm trying to figure out, I'm watching MidSouth for the first time, really, with Virgin Eyes, and I'm loving it, or at least I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for Voices of Wrestling because I said, no, sure, go ahead and do something. So it's like 15-minute podcast or video, but I could do video, but I can't use any images or anything. So it'd just be me.
Right.
So I don't want that.
And that's the thing. Like this,
that would be boring.
Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't work. That's why you can't do something like this for WWE because they'd rip you apart right away. Like New Japan, maybe.
No, it's funny because I was looking for interviews leading up to our match yesterday.
Yeah.
And there was a giant Horseman compilation that a YouTube guy did, and I have it in me, but I just didn't have time to go through it. But I went to the YouTube channel, and WWE took all the interviews off as if they're going to put that on the network ever. And it's
their content, man.
No end.
It's their content.
Yeah,
man.
It's their content and their history.
What I'm hoping happens is like some people who are watching these things, eventually sign up for the network. Like it's an advertising tool. Like it's the same reason why. The NHL would grant highlights to Sports Center. Like I'm not Sports Center or anything like that, but hey, my reasoning.
MidSouth is, it's taught me a lot in just a short time in terms of how simple they did things. There was a show, the third show I watched was all about just getting the figure 4 leg lock over as a finishing move.
Yeah.
That's it. Because someone had Bob Roop had said, me and Paul Orndorff have figured out a way to reverse it. So every match on the next show, some guy used the figure 4.
Right.
I'm like, wow, that's cool. And and it's like, people are like pinning guys with shoulder breakers. The first match I saw was Bob Roop versus Buddy Landell before he was a blonde nature boy. He was a jobber to the stars. Shoulder breaker, pin with a stanky leg. Landell selling it as it killed him. That's so beautiful. It's one of those things that nobody does anymore. The convulsions, because Vince thinks it looks dumb, and most people think it looks dumb.
Yeah, I seem to remember Batista selling a little bit like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Batista would just go into his own. We got some questions, Jeff, from the Twitterverse at Shake Them Ropes. Fans of the show, if you want to send us questions about anything at all, not just pro wrestling, we will gladly answer them on these post shows. But we did get a few questions, so we will go through these. We have Craig Hadley on the Twitter. Asks, out of all the divas that have been released by WWE, who do you think should have been kept and who could have made it the biggest? I'll let you go ahead and start with this one.
Oh, thanks.
I'll start if you want me. If you think you're on the hook here.
Please do.
I'll start.
I
think
I'm trying to think of ones that were released rather than quit.
I think one that a lot of people say now, especially with her being pretty big on Lucha Underground, is Eva Lee's. Especially now where if you're going to do these longer matches and the Divas Revolution, she might have fit in pretty well for it. Maxine on the same note. Maxine didn't really get that much of a chance in WWE, and she's somebody who is not only beautiful, but she kind of captivates the camera. I mean, she kind of captivates you when she's on camera, so I think she could have done well. Gail Kim now, I mean, she's a little bit older, but still could have been a fantastic addition, someone who was established going into this NXT Diva Revolution. So I think those would be the three names. The one I would be interested in seeing right now, along with the women that are here, Awesome Kong, just because of how different she is.
Yeah.
And she's not the work rate monster. So, it'd be an interesting division, all them running around her in the build-up. So I think those are the big four. Yeah, I think those would be the big four. I don't think Maria's one. I think Maria's doing just fine what she is. Yeah.
No, and she would have been unhappy. Kong and Kim were my first two thoughts, but they both asked for their release. So it's a little bit different. They went out on their own terms. The other one I was thinking of, since you retired this week, maybe Serena Deeb. See what she would have done.
Yeah.
But offhand, that's
different career if she's coming into WWE. Say, she was the same age. She's coming in now. Whole different career than when she came in the first time.
Yeah. And I think if you could have ported over the cheerleader Melissa, cheerleader Melissa, Kong, Gail Kim, Hamada women's knockouts division from TNA from a few years ago over with this NXT thing, it would be phenomenal.
The next question on Twitter comes from Sean Sloan. He asks, how does losing to the top guy in the company make you just another guy? Obviously, this in reference to Kevin Owens. Now, I think the difference is, if I may take this one here, Kevin Owens not losing to John Cena was what made him just another guy, and he may not end up just another guy. When we talk about him being just another guy, it's how WWE perceives him, and you can tell that with the pull-apart brawl that happened on Raw. It wasn't losing to John Cena. People have lost to John Cena. Triple H has tapped out clean to John Cena before. That's not what made him another guy. The fact that he was in the pull-apart brawl and WWE sees him as just another guy and not someone to protect, that's what makes him another guy. Because he literally is. He was just another guy in that pull-apart brawl. And we talked about it on Shake Them Ropes this week. He wasn't someone protected. He was not a guy like a Randy Orton or a John Cena who was kept out of that brawl. He was another guy separating Brock and Taker.
I'll answer it this way. From a historical perspective, look at what happened with Dusty Rhodes and the NWA. The big win in the big match gives you instant credibility. The strong win.
Yeah.
They did it too late with everybody. They did it with Sting, with Luger, with Wyndham, with Magnum TA. They never did that, and so those guys never became bigger stars.
Yeah.
They became other guys who were still chasing. It's the same way that you become another guy if you get the title belt and you get a kind of a fluke win, but they never push you as the top guy in the company.
Yeah.
Big wins matter. Because you get the video pack and they push you as the guy.
Yeah. And real top guys in WWE have to be perceived that way by them too before we can perceive them that way. So that's one of those things.
Was Daniel Bryan ever the guy, even though he quote unquote got a big win? I mean, he got the win, but they never treated him like he got the big win. It's a combination of both the win and how they treat you after.
Sure. Real Tater Tots on Twitter asks, which WWE heel should turn babyface and vice versa? Which babyface should turn heel? I would say that maybe Big Show should turn babyface. And then since he's a babyface now, he should also turn back heel. So I'll go with the Big Show. Or more realistically, who did I have here? Maybe Rusev from the heel to babyface. I think the crowds could be in the same way they were ready to embrace Lana. maybe not the same level. I think they might be ready to embrace Rusev if he was displayed like that. And then babyface to heel, I was struggling to come up with one. And he does give us the caveat that we can't include Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose. We can't include those two. So what babyface would you actually turn into the heel role? We cannot.
Wait, because Ambrose is my pick every day and twice on
Well,
Sunday.
I think that's what he was expecting.
You make him psychotic, and then you just let him go.
Yeah, so what other name is there? Because I think that's what he was expecting, that we'd both say Ambrose, and he wanted to take that off the table. As far as a babyface turning heel, I don't know if I quite have one currently. Maybe you could do some reshuffling in NXT, but I don't know about WWE roster. I'm not quite sure what babyface I would turn heel right now.
Let me think for a moment. You know what? Cena.
John Cena. All right. We'll give it that. That's the answer. Sean,
I can't think of one.
Well, yeah. Quicken your answers here, Jeff. I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm making a new show open that's going to be Jeff heavy. I'm hoping to have it by Tuesday.
It's just a bit, bro.
It's going to be the Jeff show open. Sean Sloan again on Twitter asks, how is the hot dog pizza? Have you had this Pizza Hut hot dog pizza yet?
No, I didn't. I didn't pull the trigger on that. I didn't.
I'm never going to have it. I don't know how it is because I'm never going to have it. Bookmark voicesofwrestling.com today for continuing coverage of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 25 throughout July and August. Check out our daily G1 event reviews, including our video recaps, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at voicesofwrestling.com/YouTube. We've recently upgraded our forums too. Talk pro wrestling with fans all over the world at voicesofwrestling.com. Voices of Wrestling is home to many great podcasts, including the Voices of Wrestling flagship podcast, Shake Them Ropes, and our weekly Lucha Underground show, Lucha of the Hidden Temple. All this and more at Voices of Wrestling. Subscribe to the shows on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, and more. And be sure to check us out on Twitter at Voices Wrestling. voicesofwrestling.com.